people come to me all the time and say, what is it that I have to do? What is it that I have to do to get a visa to come? What type of business do I need to start? And I tell people the same thing every time. I said, if you could be doing exactly what it is that you want to do, let's start there, and let me try to design the case around your life instead of you designing your life around the case.
13 years ago, I moved from Curitiba to Huntington Beach, California. Without plan, just with desire to be one of the best coaches in the world. And without him, probably I'm not here today. Some guys call him lawyer, I call him brother. My brother, Richard Wilner. Thank you for coming, my man.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for everything that you have done inside martial arts. Richard, he is direct responsible for all those famous fighters in the United States has their visa. I'm one of those guys. So I'm a humble guy.
The most famous.
You know, I'm here with you today to express how grateful I am for everything you have done for me, for my family. If I'm here today with my gym, with my team, two-time coach of the year, 2 times coach of the year, with a lot of fighters champion UFC and Bellator, because you help. And I always will appreciate that, my brother. Thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me. It's a huge honor for me to be here. I wasn't nervous before hearing you say all that stuff, but now I'm super nervous. Yeah. But I appreciate your kind words as always, and it's an honor to be here with you.
It is true, Richard. So I posted yesterday that guys, tomorrow I'm gonna have my brother Richard, and we're gonna talk about visas. Because people think visa is something simple to have. A lot of people want to come all over the place to come train with us. And I would like to know from you, Richard, why we have to do for those guys, what the right thing to do, what if now is the right moment to do that, and your thoughts about what they have to do to be part of, live the dream to come to the United States, live the American dream.
So there's no one way to do it for one person. Every situation is different. You may be an athlete, you may be a businessman, you may be a combination of both. You may be a doctor, you may be a lawyer, you may have a business in Brazil that you want to open up a branch of that office here. So there's all different ways to do it. You could be, as I said, a combination of a fighter and a businessman such as yourself. Mm-hmm. So your story, I think, is one worth telling, from visa to green card to citizenship. Like I was telling you before we started, people see your smile, but they don't see your struggle. Mm-hmm. They don't see the hard work. This didn't appear overnight. It was, as you said, not much of a plan, but a ton of desire and heart and skill, and you made it work, and you've done wonderful things for the community. I love seeing your story. I love seeing the success. You are the American dream. I really are.
I appreciate all kind of words, my brother. I remember when I came here, I say, man, what I have to do my first visa. And then I came in your office, and you received me so well, man, with open arms. And I say, man, this is the right place. It was the first sign from God that was in the right place, Richard. And for sure, without you, I'm not here today. And I talk with all my guys, say I have to do it with Richard because, well, first of all, because I love you. You know how much I love you, all your family, your kids, like my kids. We have our relationship as a family. It's something they always look for. When I say I want to change the United States, what is going to be the perfect combination to do my job? Surround myself with good people. And for sure was the right choice. Choose you as you choose me to do the job. And then we made it. Today we look at where we at, because everything starts from one little call. Can you help? You say, sure you can. And now you are here today. But before me it was Anderson Silva, Chris Cyborg, Fabricio Verdun, and then the list goes on. So people want to know, what is your relationship with jiu-jitsu? Because they can see all the IBJJF competition. Your office is there. Wilner is there. So what are your connection with jiu-jitsu world?
Many years ago in a former lifetime, I played rugby. And I was always looking for something to replace rugby. And I found it. I found it in jiu-jitsu. And many years ago, before we had our own office, I had an office in Pasadena, and next to that office there was a jiu-jitsu academy that opened up, and it was opened up by Higan Machado. Higan opened up the academy. I could walk out of my office, walk right in. I had gone to different jiu-jitsu academies before. I had a judo background in college, and I just could never find the one that felt right. No disrespect to anyone. It didn't feel right.
Connection.
I didn't have that connection. When I walked into the academy that Higan had started, I felt an instant connection. I met Higan, met Roger Machado, who taught some classes there, and a number of guys taught classes there. Paulo Gilbel, Leca Vieira was there back in the day.
Old school.
And then, yeah, super old school.
1998?
Yeah, 98, 99.
99.
And then Higan had introduced me to Carlos Gracie Jr., who still had never come, who didn't have a presence here in the United States yet. I met Carlinhos, I met Chinguina way back when my kids started training, all of that stuff with Chinguina. And
Márcio Chinguinha, tough guy.
Yeah, fantastic instructor, great man,
Good coach.
great family man, awesome. And my kids started training as did my family, and we fell in love with it. It was never about business to me. And over the years, I started meeting some guys who needed help. Carlinhos ended up coming to the United States. There were certain instructors that needed help, and I was trying to think about this the other day. Even though Higan and Carlinhos were the first guys that I met, and Paulo and Leca, there was a guy who now teaches in Texas, Upiano, who introduced me to Vanderlei Silva. And then I think Vanderlei was probably the one that originally may have put you and I together years ago.
In 2007, he came in 2007, I met you in 2008.
So as a result of being involved with jiu-jitsu and helping out some of the guys, and then I started doing work for the Jiu-Jitsu Federation as it related to immigration stuff. Sometimes the federation needed help, but this was back in the late 90s. From Brazil, people still had to qualify and in nationals to compete in the mundials, and guys would ultimately qualify and come in, and then the federation grew and the mundials grew, and it exploded. And I like to think we're at sort of the second wave. We weren't back in Brazil, but when it really exploded here, we were at the beginning, and I'm blessed to have met so many people through jiu-jitsu.
And help a lot of people, change a lot of lives, brother.
Well, it's changed my life from the relationships that I've been able to develop with people and just amazing people from a lot from Brazil, but through jiu-jitsu, it's
the community.
The community all over the world, from athletes to instructors to athletes who become instructors. And the work that I do, one thing that's great about it is, of course, jiu-jitsu, like anything, can be political. There can be drama, but I don't get involved in any of that. My relationships and loyalty are to each person, and it's not academy specific. I've been able to make a lot of good friends.
Amen. I remember everything. I remember my first month in the United States, and the confidence you gave me the confidence, like, don't worry, your visa is gonna be okay. Everything is gonna be okay. And it was like less than 2 years and a half. I was like my green card right in my hands, and changed my life, to be honest, Richard. Because when I came here, as a lot of Brazilians, they don't know what to do. We have a lot of fighters in Brazil. The process is not something simple. In my case, I have the best in the business, but I have a little history as well, with a lot of travels to Japan, things like that. But sometimes people want to come to the United States without history. It's not so simple like that. Everything changed back in the days, no region.
Yeah, it's difficult. And some guys have history in sport. Some have history in coaching. Not everyone has, like you do, both a history in sport as a professional fighter and then a documented history when you stop fighting and coaching guys. Because one type of visa that we can do, whether you're an athlete or a coach or a businessman or a scientist, is called an O1. O1, O like Oscars, visas for people with extraordinary ability. So we have to prove that extraordinary ability. Awards won, either as a coach. And it's hard for a coach to win awards because the two that you've won, that's a new thing, because coaches normally don't win awards. the athletes win awards, and the athletes give the coach credit, ideally, and then the coach can use that credit to build the case, seminars, articles, and now, back in the day when there used to be magazines and not everything was just online and digital, we would print out magazines and include the demographics and circulation and submit those to the government to show that you're not just being published in a small publication, but that Tatami and Gracie Mag and a number of Japanese publications and media and seminars, and it all goes into it. That same type of visa can be used, as I said, for a scientist, for a businessman, but we have to prove that you're extraordinary in what you do. And it's harder for a coach, because to prove extraordinary ability as a coach, I have to prove that your students have gone on to do great things.
It's not so
and yours
simple.
have.
Yeah, but for now, if you look now, change a lot, the rules change a lot back in the days till now. What most change they have, Richard? About the rules. For example, people have to apply from your own country. You can come here and apply here. You have to back in your country and apply for that.
So you still can come here and apply depending upon the circumstance. However, it's difficult to be able to get the permission to come here to apply. So the biggest thing that's changed as it relates to immigration in my world, specifically with regards to Brazilians and for people from Schengen, Europe, additionally South Africa, is COVID-related travel bans.
Yes.
So now, unless you're an American citizen or green card holder or married to a citizen, in order to even get a visa to come to the United States, if you're applying for your first time, number one, you're not going to get an appointment until the end of the year, maybe middle of next year.
Wow.
Once that appointment comes up, they're going to cancel the appointment, probably, and you can't expedite it. You can't get appointment scheduled unless you qualify for a national interest exception because of the presidential proclamation banning travel from Brazil. So only certain people qualify for the exception. If you're an athlete in a professional sports league such as the UFC would have a waiver in effect that allows their athletes to get visa appointments, etc. If you're a businessman, unless you're in critical infrastructure, healthcare, national security type stuff, it's not going to happen.
Wow. For me, we have a lot of friends, a lot of martial artists. Then they have opportunity to get his visa. A lot of them don't, and because as soon as I say to my people in Brazil, say when I have a Richard, please send me all kind of questions they don't have about that. Visa, you can't be legal in the United States. A lot of people come here like, I want to be here, I want to live here, I want to try to live the American dream. It's not simple like that without visa. As soon as you lost your visa, you're going to have a lot of problem to get them back, the respect of the government, from the government. So my advice for all those guys from Brazil, say, please, if you want to go to the United States, be legal. My visa will expire in 2 weeks. Back Brazil, try to do your thing. Don't stay illegal here. Because, Richard, like I said to my old student from Brazil, it doesn't matter if you come with money from Brazil, if you have no credit, if you have no paper, you're nothing.
You're 100% right. And see, even if you come lawfully, but you overstay your visa, you cannot change or extend your status unless there's extraordinary circumstances that cause you to overstay. Forgetting that you had to leave by a certain date or just not doing it is not an extraordinary circumstance. And as soon as you lose that status, there's only a few exceptions to the rule of being, as I said, to be able to extend or change status. Status, from an immigration point of view, being legal is everything.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
Reality is it's easier said than done. Sometimes people can't find a way, so they'll try to extend their visitor's visa here. Some will try to go to school, language school, university, those types of things, but you have to maintain your status in order to be able to change to something else.
Agree.
Yeah.
And, this is the rules that we have to know. Rules that we work with martial arts since the first Mundial here, Richard. I think since the first Mundial.
Yep.
Now, working with all those guys. Those Brazilian guys gave you a lot of problem or not?
No, none. No, sometimes.
Because it's different mentality. People in Brazil, they fought a lot. You know, They believe that I want to come to the United States. I want to do exactly what I did in Brazil in the past. There's no work like that.
No,
No,
honestly, it's for the most part been joy.
enjoy.
Some stress because it's people's lives that are really in our hands. The only problem, and this isn't a Brazilian thing, sometimes when dealing with athletes and celebrities and people who are famous, they're not used to waiting in line. They're not used to they're not used to being treated like everyone else, and the system is the great equalizer. There is some truth to the fact that if you're super famous, you're going to have greater access to the immigration system. Things can go quicker. We can get different access, just for a number of reasons. But for the most part, it doesn't matter if you're the richest guy in the world or the poorest guy in the world, the most famous to the beginner. You're going to be treated the same.
It is what I like in the United States, Richard, to be honest with you. Since the day one when I moved here, I see okay, Rafael, we're going to live here maybe for the rest of your life. You can act like, okay, I'm in Brazil, I want to do exactly the things that I did in Brazil. It's a little bit different over here, When we talk about respect, like you say, people want to cross the line because they think they are so superior, they can go in front of somebody and, okay, I'm here now. It doesn't work like that. It is the perfect place to humble people.
Yeah.
It's the perfect to make people feel a little bit more humble. This is the place. And I learn a lot. I can talk by myself, Richard, because living from Brazil and put everything to the side to come to the United States, start my new career. Everything start from zero again. As soon as I moved here, I saw the difference between everything. I say, or I want to keep like a kid with the same mentality, or I become man, no, I always follow the rules, but here is different rules. You follow rules, then you know.
Right.
But when you doesn't know yet the rules, it's like I feel from in the beginning when I moved here, I feel a little bit lost, but take some time to feel, no, man, this is different life, and works because I'm here today after 13 years, talk with you about what happened in the past. 13 years ago, he was the first guy to say to me, come here, your career here is going to be brilliant. I'm going to make it happen. I remember your words, you're going to make it happen. You're going to have your visa. And here I am, Risha. I talk with you about my history. My history and your history is a mix of the...
That's intertwined.
Yes, because, everything that a lot of people, Risha is my personal friend, a lot of attitudes that I have inside the gym, a lot of action that I have to take. Risha, what I should do. And you are there for me always.
And I remember one of the first times we met and we had dinner at a local restaurant.
Yes,
I remember the conversation.
Lace dog.
That's right. It stands for the proposition that there's no shortcuts. And sometimes, and again, it's not a Brazilian thing. People come from other countries where it's more common to have to hustle, more common to have to find a way sort of outside the system. In my experience, that can backfire on you, especially in the immigration world. And if you do it right and you take your time and you create your own luck and you surround yourself with good people, honest people, it may take longer to get it, but you're going to get it and it can't be taken away from you.
Amen.
There's no shortcuts. Yeah, and that reminds me of something else when you were asking me before about any problems, things like that. There's a common thought when people, I talk to a lot of people in Brazil all over the world, and people want to come here for whatever reasons. There's always going to be something in your heart or something, family, whatever, vacation that brings you, quote unquote, home, back to wherever it is that you come from. So a lot of people, through the power of the internet and talking to friends, everyone wants to get what they call a combo card, a travel document. That's, as you know, permission to leave the United States, not have to go to a consulate and get a visa in your passport, but to be able to come back in with this card. So people take shortcuts and they file applications that will result in the card. That the card is a matter of course. You're going to get the card if you file a certain application. So that'll get you home and it'll get you back, but then when you get back and your case ultimately gets denied because you took a shortcut to get that card because your wife or someone's husband wants to go back to Brazil to visit family, they take a shortcut and it ends up costing them. And so you got to take your time and do it right.
Yeah, we have Brazilian, they listen and well, you guys have to do the right thing. It's not simple come United States and stay here illegal. If you want to be American, you have to do the right thing. If you want to be a fighter, probably you're going to come with some visa from some shows, inviting you to come to the United States, or you're going to come with your tourist visa. But it's just about the time. You're going to have to figure out how to have your visa work. It's not so simple. For sure, the life in America is beautiful, Richard. Living here in California is amazing. But we have to live the right life. Being in the right,
that's right.
Total legal, illegal here, you can do nothing.
And in the fight world, a lot's changed over the past decade or so, where guys from Brazil would come to fight and then go home because the training remained there. Now, because so many qualified people have come to the United States and built gyms, built communities, some of the best training in the world is here, right? Here, right in Huntington Beach. So guys will come to fight and then decide to stay because of the training, and then their families like it, and then they find a way. And there's traditionally, we can find a path, but there's no shortcuts.
It's true.
Yeah.
So we talk about him, but you guys don't know, he have two beasts in the home. Two beasts. One of the best, Max and Maza. Max is a beast. I'm a big fan of him. He's my wrestling coach in the Kings MMA. He started teaching for my new generation of wrestlers and fighters over here. And I can imagine how proud you are to see your boys.
I am.
And the success the kids have inside the wrestling. They travel, you travel with them all over the country. Probably one day we're going to see these kids, and we're going to see Max in Olympic 100%. The kids is a beast.
And to come full circle, both my kids started in jiu-jitsu. Now, Max still wrestling. He's going to college. He'll wrestle in college. But Maza, my older boy, is back training jiu-jitsu with Babalu.
Awesome.
Yeah.
He back from San Diego? He was in San Diego?
He was in Nevada for a month.
Nevada.
Working with Rob. This is how interconnected everything is. Maza worked for the summer with Rob Cardenas, who used to be Vanderlei. Of course, you remember Rob.
Yeah.
Rob was Vanderlei's lawyer.
Yeah, yes.
I met Rob through Vanderlei, and then we've kept in touch over a decade. And he mentored my son for the summer. Maza came back on Monday and was at Babalu's gym on Tuesday.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. So
I saw him as a kid, a little boy. Now he's a big man, bigger than you. Maz is bigger than you.
Come on.
Yeah, hands on you as well. And Max is a beast.
Yeah.
He's a kid, and I saw inside the mat as a small kid, and then today he become one of the best wrestlers in the United States. The kid come here in a professional class. I don't like to talk behind the back, but he's matched my professional fighters. And I'm proud to see, Richard, the love that you have for martial arts, you pass for your kids, man.
Thank you.
You always support them. You give them everything that the father and the son look at their father. And I'm proud to see this kid. You see what he does today. What is the next for Max? What do you think is going to be the next for him?
College, school, maybe law school. Maza's finished his first year of law school.
After law certificate, he can do whatever he wants.
Hopefully the kids can take over your business, the kids can take over my business, and then we can just go fish.
Amen.
Yeah,
like we spend a good time in Mexico doing what we love to do, fishing tuna. Spend a good time in family, as we have to do, brother. We know that. We know how much the community respect the work and you have work then you have done for a long, long time. It's not so simple, Richard. It's not so simple. You know that. To build the confidence that people have over you take years. So who was your first guy from martial arts to say, I want to move to the United States? The first one, say, I'm going to help you for that.
The first one.
Can you remember? No. Because the guys that I know more than 100 guys that would make visa. More than 100. Just in my gym, I have 32 guys that I have worked with you during 13 years. Can you imagine? The number that you put on the table here is something really, really respectful.
I appreciate that.
This is just because we did a great, great job with not just me, with a lot of fighters. You know how hard it is to work with that community. Work with celebrity, not the community, but work with celebrities not so simple like that. Because sometimes they think they have what they want, but it takes some time for that. And you handle all those guys very, very well during this career. Was Babalu's partner for a long, long time.
Yeah, we started the gym together.
2008.
Oh, I don't remember what I had for breakfast. I don't know.
2008.
Yeah, it was 2008.
Yeah, I remember. Beautiful gym. Was like one of the. It's still till today, but the idea started with you and Babalu.
Yeah, 100%. Babalu, like a lot of fighters, but he's a close friend of mine, so I'll speak to it as he shared it with me. Babalu had the vision to do something, to start something while he was still fighting professionally. So when he was done, he had something to move into, not to finish fighting and have nothing. Mm-hmm. So he started that gym while he was still fighting, and then once he retired and was able to dedicate himself full time, now he teaches kids and adults and absolutely loves it. And
successful gym, Cerrito, still till now, with a lot of students. And for now, Richard, if you look today, United States, how many offices you have?
We have 8 offices, and we're opening up our 9th. We'll open up in Arizona by the end of the year, in Phoenix or Tempe area, and then we hope to be in Nevada by the following year. Just catering to different industries and different communities.
It's a lot, Richard. It's a lot.
I'm caught up on the number of people that you said that we've represented out of this gym, and it means a lot to me. And
credibility, my brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I think one thing that separates us from others who do the same thing that we do. There's a lot of great people out there. There's a lot of great lawyers. There's a lot of honest lawyers. There's some dishonest ones and some bad ones, but I think overall people are genuinely good. But one thing that separates us is that we can relate. We can understand. We understand what people are going through in their travels here. We understand what people are going through in their careers, be they fighters, other types of athletes, celebrities. I'm not a celebrity, but I'm used to being around celebrities such as yourself, so I can.
Yeah, I can. Yes.
Yeah, you get it. So I can relate. And then with a businessman coming from Brazil, look, I'm a businessman. I just happen to be in the law business. So people come to me all the time and say, what is it that I have to do? What is it that I have to do to get a visa to come? What type of business do I need to start? And I tell people the same thing every time. I said, if you could be doing exactly what it is that you want to do, let's start there, and let me try to design the case around your life instead of you designing your life around the case. Awesome. And normally we're able to achieve that goal.
Why you do what you do?
So I've thought about this for a long time, and the conclusion that I've come to looking back on it. So I was blessed to grow up with a small family, but a tight family, and my grandparents were big influences in my life. And my grandfather, who was the oldest of 5, grew up in Brooklyn. Dad died young, put all his brothers and sisters through school, et cetera, et cetera. And he was a big fan of and loved culture and music and food and travel. And at a young age, I was exposed to that. Years later, when I decided that I was going to go to law school, I always knew I wanted to do something international, and I relate that back to my grandpa. I thought I wanted to do something with the United Nations and all that type of stuff, save the world kind of stuff. And having a little bit of experience traveling overseas and working in different organizations and at law firms, I realized that while I love the culture and music and obviously food, the real work, my real space in say making a difference is working with individuals or businesses that deal with individuals and not working for a government organization. Years later, looking back on it, I realized that we're blessed with the opportunity to represent people from all over the world on almost a daily basis. And you're talking from the most famous fighters and coaches in the world to people who are escaping persecution and applying for asylum in the United States, to doctors and scientists and everyone in between, from models to athletes to different brands here in Southern California, and all over the world, big, small, you name it. But everyone shares this desire to be able to come here for some reason, to to make a life for themselves and their family. And I absolutely love being a part of that and seeing people who truly, truly, genuinely appreciate what this country has to offer. And it motivates me to keep doing it.
This is awesome, man. What's the first country that most people come to United States? The first one, Mexico.
Mexico.
The second one,
Well,
Asian.
So according to the Department of State, there's a couple countries that have the most people that try to immigrate to the United States, and that's China, India, Mexico, and the Philippines. And there's certain amounts of visas, immigrant visas, green cards available to people that come from those countries, state or country prescribed limits. The rest of the world is grouped into one category.
Wow, I didn't know that. This is awesome.
And what's crazy about it is you could be a highly educated Indian scientist, PhD level guy. It's going to take you maybe 12, 15 years to get your green card because the numbers are over prescribed. It's a supply and demand issue. You could be that same guy that comes from Brazil, and your case may take 2 years.
Wow. Yeah. As an American, what do you think people look so crazy to the United States to come here and live here? Why? As American, why do you think they are so crazy to come and live the American dream? Why they want to come to the United States and live that life? What do you think?
I think, and I ask a lot of people that, and what I've been able to gather over the years is people want security, a place where they can work hard and earn and create a life for themselves and for their families in a manner that they don't have to worry about the government taking it away like you would in some countries. Of course, we pay tax and all.
That is different.
And we're all have the freedom to be critical of the government here, and it's been crazy over the past, couple years in people being critical of the government. And I'm hopeful and optimistic that with that criticism we can implement it and become even better than we are. But I really do think that people want security and infrastructure and, the simple things, water, they want the opportunity to work hard.
I came from the safety, the security that the place always gave me. If an opportunity to building something, then I was trying to do, I say, same thing that I'm doing here in Curitiba, let's try to do that in the United States. Why not? Why? Because the market here 2008 was the best market for martial arts, and I would try explore my name a little bit more in the United States, see how can I work with those guys, different culture, how can I show my job, and the United States open everything for me, open all those doors for me, man, and I'm blessed to live here. I'm proud to be American today, have my American passport. It's not easy. It's hard to have, but it's hard to keep. As a belt, it has a value. You have to work for. It's not something, I'm going to live in the United States now, I'm going to have everything that I want. No, you have to work your ass off every single day.
I think back about your history here and our history together, and it's been an honor to be by your side through some of the struggles.
In good moments and bad moments, you're there with me.
And we're fortunate that I think that we don't think about the bad moments too often, but it's important that we remember.
Because we are the result of the good and the bad moments.
100%.
And see who was on our side, the good and the bad.
Yep.
This is a martial arts taught me during all my life. I have good memory as you, Richard. And we know everything good and people made for us, but we know everything bad as well.
Oh yeah.
This is life, Sometimes please don't remember that. I remember, no. But this is life, and I'm glad to have you by my side. Everything that you have done, not just for me, but all those people come all over all countries. You change a lot, thousands and thousands of lives. You just keep. I like to say we are a gift. We are a gift from God. For 100%, we are a gift for a lot of people. And I see by my side, my daughters in my home. I have 2 daughters. They become American. And I like to see the American way in both. I like to see. I say, man, they are Brazilian, but now become American. And I'm proud of that. Because when they put the flag on their back, they say, I'm proud to be American, because they are proud for everything that America gave to them. So America opened everything that we have here because one day somebody opened the door. Okay, I'm gonna figure your visa. Okay, and another guy came to me and said, "I'm gonna figure the place and you're gonna teach." Thank you. Well, a lot of good options. Then I have, and I took the options and I work hard for this, all those moments. So it's not just you have now. I feel comfort. I have my visa now. I can sit on the beach and see the ocean. Look at the sea, how beautiful it is. Unfortunately, I can't do this. Richard, I can't count how many times I go to the beach. I went to the beach last
No
week
time,
one time.
right?
Summer, 2 times on the beach. 2 times. I'm in the gym every single day. As you. You came from meeting, you have a meeting in Santana. Now you came from meeting 7, 8 offices you have to run. The life in America for sure is beautiful, but you have to work.
Yeah, 100%.
No, it's gonna be easy. Oh, I'm gonna become millionaire. You will, you will. But
You can.
You can.
Yeah.
But as you, 1,000, 100,000, a lot of people think exactly like you. The difference is how hard you want to work for, no, Richard. And I came. I'm gonna keep work hard. I know what I have to do. I know we are blessed for a lot of people. The responsibility that we have inside my gym, inside your office is huge, because a lot of people look up over us. Like I want to see those guys. My faith is on those guys. Everything that I look for, maybe these guys can help me with that. And that sometimes for us is a pleasure, but it's as hard work as well, because you look.
It's a heavy.
It's heavy.
It's not a burden. It's a responsibility, and it's one that I embrace. But it also sometimes wakes me up at 3 a.m. thinking about it. People's lives are in our hands.
It's true.
Yeah.
What you do in your office, I do in my gym, and we have to keep going. I still doing visa for a lot of people here. My visa for them. Okay, you can come train the Kings.
Yeah.
Okay, you're allowed to train here. Yeah, that's the same way.
Same thing.
You let people, by your job, successful job, make people change their lives. And works, Richard, works. Everything that I have in my gym, I learn from the small things. The way to talk with people different than we talk in Brazil. Brazil, like you say, we are more like here is a little bit more like
Formal.
Yeah. Formal. It's good too.
Yeah.
It's another way. Then you're gonna learn how to develop your relationship with them, how be like more flexible, like understanding another side. And this make me who I am. 48 years old. 48 years old. Work every single day in the gym, knowing people, and always blessed to be here in America. Always, bro.
Glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure you are.
Yeah.
For sure you are. Our relationship don't stop for now. We go further. We go more and more. You know, the connection that we have is something above the roof. I saw a lot of guys come to the United States and turn back for a lot of people. I saw a lot of people come to the United States, become celebrities, become famous, and then turn his back for people that help them. And what I learned inside my house with my mom, inside martial arts, you never can do that. So if I ask you today, Richard, what is the most important lesson that you have learned inside martial arts that you brought to the office? What you brought from the martial arts for the office?
I think humility is a huge concept that carries through all martial arts, regardless of the style, no matter how good you may. A couple of things that spring off humility: no matter how good you are, or how good you think you are at something, there might be someone who walks in that's just a little bit better or tougher than you. So always stay humble. Always try to learn more. Always try to be better in a humble way, and always try to become a better version of yourself. Never be scared or intimidated to venture out, to try new things, and don't expect of others what you yourself wouldn't do. Don't. Yeah.
Beautiful words. Still compete? Still train jiu-jitsu? Stop jiu-jitsu?
No more jiu-jitsu. Well,
last
but
time
I want
was
to go back.
Purple belt. Was purple belt. Still
yeah.
purple belt? Yeah.
Still purple belt. 2 stripes.
Why? Back in the day till now, probably purple. No, probably black belt, 2 stripes. If you kept.
Yeah.
100%.
I miss it. some injuries, but mostly excuses.
But the boat is there. Nobody beats man.
Let's fish. Yeah.
Nobody beats man.
Fishing is my jiu-jitsu.
We have to do this again, my brother.
Ready.
I'm super happy to have you today with us, Richard. It was a great experience. Talk a little bit about our history, but talk about how people can come and learn a little bit more, visas, the rules that we have in the United States. I want to let you give them your address. How can they figure your office? What we can do for that?
Sure. Thank you once again for having me. It's been awesome. I was just looking forward to come here, if nothing else, just to see you and spend some time with you. Look, there's a lot of information out there online, a lot of good information. The government has great information on their website, which is USCIS.gov, United States Citizenship and Immigration Services.gov. There's different categories on there that people can look into, and I don't know if the website's available in Portuguese, but you know, people can figure out a way to translate it, and that's good, honest information. And the government's not trying to sell something to you like a lot of people, a lot of lawyers may be. So you don't have to hire me. Just be careful in who you hire, and if it's too good, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. Period. If you want to get a hold of us, we're happy to speak to you. You can check us out online, WilnerO'Reilly.com, WILNER. O'Reilly is OREILLY.com, WilnerO'Reilly.com. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok now, I think.
Oh, Lord.
I think. I have nothing to do with that. But we're online. Happy to talk with you. You don't have to be a fighter for us to represent you. No matter what you do, we're happy to try to find a way to help you guys out if possible.
Richard,
I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you for coming. You know how much I love you. I love your family.
Same.
We are together, brother, in the good times, bad times, because this is the family does. Today we have a special guest, Richard Wilner, one of the best, if not the best immigrant lawyer in the United States.